Success Club.
Our guest for the current edition of Success Club, the Positive Role Model series, is Dr. Lucy Newman, an expert in corporate performance recalibration. Dr. Lucy Newman is an expert in performance and corporate governance with career interest in policy advocacy, transformational leadership, and sustainable development. Dr. Newman hails from Borno State, northeastern Nigeria. She holds the Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration of the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, and a Master's in Business Administration of the same university. She also holds doctorate degree in Business Administration of the University of Phoenix, Arizona, United States of America, and also obtained certification in performance technology from the International Society for Performance Improvement, ISPI. She is an alumnus of the prestigious INSEAD in France. Dr. Newman's career spans consultancy and financial services. She was the immediate past MD CEO of the Financial Institution Training Center, FITC, until 2019. Dr. Newman has served on boards of numerous organizations in Nigeria and internationally. She served as International Director on the Global Board of ISPI, representing members in 48 countries outside the United States, and is a life member of the ISPI. Dr. Newman has received many distinguished awards, including, but not limited to, the ISPI's Thomas F. Gilbert's Distinguished Professional Achievement Award in 2019. She was the 30th recipient of this award that was established in the year 1981 and the first recipient outside North America. She served as a juror on the 2016, 2017 and 2018 Central Bank of Nigeria's Sustainability Award panel and is currently on a global 16-person jury panel for the Proud Dad Award for Social Innovation. Dr. Newman is currently an international consultant in development and policy, a member of the boards of many companies, a speaker and author with publications in professional journals and books on policy governance and performance. Without any doubt, Dr. Lucy Newman is an accomplished woman and a role model to aspiring ladies and young men. She's therefore our guest for this edition of Success Club, the Positive Role Model series.
Success Club.
What is success? Wow, success. Society thinks that success is like a destination. You arrive at that destination and then you say, wow, I'm a successful person. But actually, success is a journey. It's a life journey. Different stages of life. And also, it's different things at different phases of life. It's all about being at the right place, doing what is supposed to be done, having fulfillment in that, growing in that, and impacting people around you. And success can be from primary school level, being at the right school, having good teachers, being in the right environment at home, and being very hardworking and having good grades and having friends in school. In secondary school, the same thing, being at the same place, and then also in terms of how you travel, how you make friends in school, your teachers, your grades, and the skills that you learn. When you are a young adult in the university, it's all about making the right choice, about the course to read, about what you're going to study, working hard, making the connections, and in the course of that, feeling that you're growing and you're learning. When you come out of school as a young adult, working or in your own small business, it's about doing what you're passionate about, and also working for an organization that you feel so impressed about the mandate and you're personally aligned with the values of that organization, and the people that you work with are both like friends and family. And then also you being successful has to do with all areas of your life, in terms of education, in terms of career, in terms of your faith, in terms of your contribution. Some of us think that it is when you reach a certain level of life that you can contribute. Being a child and making your friends happy, being a student and giving respect to your teachers, being at a place of work and seeing even that security man and getting to know him and encourage him, that is success. And then when you reach a certain level in life, being able to use what God has blessed you with to also make a difference in the lives of other people. I had the privilege of growing up in a family with parents who were God conscious, who were also enlightened, and they believed in mentorship. So they introduced us to so many uncles and aunties who impacted our lives and whom we were able to mirror their behaviors. And in the family we had God consciousness as a given. We had appreciating other people in life and investing in them. We grew up, our parents had different people in our house, many of them are our relations, and our father sent so many people to school. And our parents made us to understand that we are their biological children, but they also have other children that God has given them, and we need to share them with them. So throughout that time, things like God consciousness, integrity. My father used to tell us that the only thing you have that is wealth for you is your integrity and your name. So he believed, and they all taught us with my mom, that it's better to come forward and say the truth and ask for mercy than to tell lies. Then apart from that, being your authentic self. Our father allowed the girls to be girls and the boys to be boys, but he also did not have any specific role for a gender. Our father was a physician. He studied nursing in the UK. That brought the issue of caring for one another, nurturing others, and being there for people. So those values were like the foundations on which I had the privilege to grow, and each of those principles have been refined at various stages of life. It depended on where I was at any particular time. It depended on the kind of mentors I had at that time, where I worked, and what my career was about. So right now, over the years, they seem to have refined, and as I was preparing my website, I was able to come out with an acronym, LUCY, which is equity in all you do, taking legacy in consideration, that it's not about you, your things should outlive you.
Success Club.
As she described, guiding principles. Setbacks can actually be tests in life for character formation, for new perspectives, and for growth. I've had plenty. So let me just organize them in like 4 buckets. I have had discrimination and abuse through life at various stages in terms of either my gender, or my tribe, or my race, or my faith. I'm a Christian. I'm from Borno State, which is the northeastern Nigeria, which is predominantly Muslim. So you can imagine the discrimination. As a child, I was, because of the state laws at that time, we studied hierarchy from primary 1 to 5. So maybe if I was not from a Christian home that had the biblical foundations, maybe it would have affected my faith, I don't know. So, but now with all these things, and also I've traveled the world, and we know what kind of discriminations, some expectations just by the color of your skin. We also know that some aristocratic and male-dominated societies have certain expectations. Because you're a female, you think some other things. So those are some of the discriminations, and also in some relationships there's abuse. But in all that, one of the things that it gave me is ability to see things as they are and remove myself from the picture and look at the drama that is happening, and seeing and planning for myself. And it has also given me profound appreciation and understanding of how it feels to be disenfranchised, and has given me opportunity to be a very good advocate for those who do not have a voice, or whose voices are not loud enough, or those who are not in a position to fight for themselves. Another challenge that I have had is in health. You know, as a young girl in secondary school, I was in Form 4. I had a major surgery, and as a result of that, I had to stay back from going back to school for about a term. The other one was in 2019, January. I broke my leg and I had to wear POP with 2 crutches and sit in my room for 6 weeks. I didn't go anywhere, and then come back, wear orthopedic shoes and be in flat slippers and start working again. Through that, it has given me appreciation of good health and ability to put what is the right priority at each time. Watch what I eat, make sure I exercise, and good health being very important. And I'm finding that very useful now that I'm in my maturing years, because I'm still a young girl, So that health challenge was very helpful. The other challenge I've had is that I've actually failed in school, Some people say, I failed, so that's this it. I failed, yes, I failed. But I thank God I failed, though, big time. I went to primary school and we didn't study French. So I went to Federal Government College, Kaduna, and I made French in the first term in my secondary school. That time our report cards used to be like a receipt booklet, and they fill it in blue and red biro. If you pass, it's either blue or black ink. If you fail, it's red ink. So first term in Form 1, I had a red ink in my report. I scored 25% at the end of the term. So my French teacher actually told Madame Mbuko, whom I'm still in touch with, by the way. She thought that I was a dull student until she now saw that in my other subjects I was getting A's and B's. So she was very upset. She called me. But in that process, at the end of the first year, I got 2 prizes. I got the best student in French, and I got the most improved student. Yeah, surely improvement, because from having 25% to be the best in French. And I kept French throughout, and I had an A in French at WAEC. The second one I failed was in Form 5 in my WAEC. That time we used to have senior class and junior class. Junior class was Form 1 to 3, and then 4 and 5 were senior classes. So I failed math. I got a pass in WAEC in math. Why did I get a pass? We had a teacher in Form 4, and that teacher was a very, very lousy maths teacher. And unfortunately for us, he took us in Form 5. So many of us flunked maths. However, I wanted to study social sciences and the creatives. So when I went to SBS, they told me I should take arts because I had a P in maths. I said, no, I want to take social sciences. So the registrar said, if you're taking social sciences, you'll have to retake your WAEC for maths under the UME, and then if you don't pass it, you will not get your certificates of social science. For me, that was a beautiful challenge. I took it up. I did very well in maths. In fact, my second choice in my degree program was accounting, and I later worked in financial services, and I got to become a consultant to the financial system. So now I've conquered my maths. So failing is relative. That gave me the perspective that failure in anything is relative to certain things. If you understand the principles, you're ready to work, you can flip that around, and that can actually be a growth pattern. So those 2 experiences have actually influenced my career today in performance improvement practice. Now I'm a certified performance technologist. I don't accept failure, and in the process of that, I do a lot of executive coaching and counseling. I also consult for companies. A company that is not doing too well today, there are certain principles which, if it applies, it can really be a success. And I also consult in terms of policies to governments that when things are not working, perhaps we're not touching some other things. So that's the aspect of challenge, how I flipped failure. I've also had losses in my life. I've lost people who were very close to me. I was in my final year in the first semester when my father died. I was very close to my father. That thing hit me very hard. As a result of that, I couldn't resume when school started. He died Christmas Eve. I was supposed to resume after New Year. I didn't resume school till the end of February. I've also had a challenge whereby I was in my first semester of my doctorate program when my mother died. I left the program. I went to be with her till she died, and then I couldn't resume. I asked for a break at school. I've also had a separation from my first spouse. While we were separated, he died. Then I also had 3 siblings who have died. I've also had a very long, painful divorce. So in all that, what did I get? I got that it's very important to value people in your life. See people the way God sees them. Cherish every day and every moment. Make sure that if you didn't get to see them again, you'll not regret that you did not do what you're supposed to do. Be at peace with all as you can. And the most important thing for you is to be in God's purpose, doing God's will. Don't accept anybody to take you off track from what God intends for you to do. And if you find yourself in such a situation, step back, evaluate, and end it, and move on.
Success Club.
I should speak about disappointments and temporary setbacks.
Factors beside godliness and grace of God that were very helpful. And the issues of gender discrimination, being a female in a male-dominated environment, and especially the financial services sector, which is, that's another discrimination. Sometimes you go somewhere and you say you're a female, you work in the banks, then you now say, here comes somebody of questionable character. It is possible by dint of hard work, studying. Many people fall victims to abuse and discrimination because you have not prepared yourself. If you say you are doing this, study to show yourself approved, so says the scriptures. If you study and you understand the principles, for instance now, you're a female, you come to an office, it's not about your looks, so it's not about what you wore. At the end of the day, it's about what is up here. And it's very important for any female in an authority, or either in an authority or in an organization, in a setting. I speak about this a lot at female conferences. Sometimes we play the victim before we're victimized. Not trying to impress people, but be your authentic self. I am very grateful for that foundation I got, and many of my mentors have also advised that. Many people like to mimic, I want to be like that, I want to be like that. You can take principles from people, but don't make yourself into a clone of another person. And if you know what you know, and you come to the table with an idea, by the power of the femininity you have, and God-given skills of listening, caring, nurturing, and nourishing, you would be at the center, not by fight. The second aspect is beyond the godliness and the prayers, being genuinely interested in people, making sure it's not about a transaction or money, but that you're hungry for knowledge and you want to contribute and earn your seat at the table, ethically and with respect, not by pushing anybody. When you help people and you support people, they don't forget. And if you do it with genuineness, in a situation whereby people are all being fake and using one another, you'll be distinct. I got my huge compliment some time ago. One of my former bosses got a project in a very difficult situation, capable of, high sensitive assignment. And he told them that job is not negotiable. It's not for open bid. I have somebody that is going to do that role, and it's a consulting assignment. And he called me and said, Lucy, this is very sensitive. I want somebody that I can just put this role in their hand and go to sleep that it's going to be done very well. And I will not be embarrassed. And I want you to do that. He put this trust in our capacity. I was not the only one on that job. We were like, on my team, later became 145 consultants. But that's how it worked, and that is how you earn. He didn't do it because I'm from this tribe. Come to think of it, he's not even the same faith with me. Do you understand? And he's like 20 years ahead of me in age. So, but because of hard work, integrity, godliness, and sincere accountability for things in your care, and not about feminine wiles or anything, that's what helps.
Success Club.
Attributes that a young person should have and demonstrate
Some of it is from home. Some of it is from society. Some of it is from peer pressure. From home, I can give an example. When you're a parent and a child that has not learned how to earn money is being given a lifestyle of somebody who is like a manager in a bank, the spending pattern of that person is way out of league. You're already setting that child up for disaster. I remember when we were growing up, our father made himself the collector of all gifts from uncles and aunties, and he rationed it. I know, one day like this, I was in the university, I came and asked him, I said, Papa, why are you doing like this now? This person gave me this money, this person did this, now I'm going back to school, you just cut it into pieces and you said this is what I'm going to. He said, yes. When you finish school and you graduate, what are you going to earn? I was blank. He said, what will you earn when you finish school? He said he made sure that none of us got less than 25% of what we can earn when we finish school, before finishing school. So that means when you finish school and you start working, you will appreciate what you're earning. But if you are still in school as a student and as a parent, you're giving your child 500,000 naira, 1 million naira, 200,000, 50,000 just to take friends out. What are you setting that child up for? When that child starts working, you'll not respect his income and you seek other means to augment. The second part is society. We don't tend to question how people make money. We just celebrate wealth. We need to look at that and flag instances of people who have shown excessive wealth, and then we have cases of frauds and all that. We flag them so that these people can, they call it social derobing, so that people will not see them as role model. Growing up is not about trying not to be transactional. It's very helpful. It's not everything that is about money. There's a project I was part of which I was very grateful for. It's a project for an organization. I won't call their name because I'm not doing advert for them. But it was a project that looked at some key leaders in society that were presumably doing so well to come and talk about their first jobs in life. Because this essence of, I want to get my first job, I want to buy a car, let them see that these people they see today as ABC did not start in a plum position. When I started, I still have, there's a list I kept, to God be the glory. I still have a record of my first salary. I used to earn 650 naira per annum, my first job. 650 naira per annum. When I started making like 15,000 per annum, I was like, yeah, I've hit it. Ooh, I've now become a senior officer with 15,000 naira per annum. But that time, the value of the money was very, very high. So in that project, they told these people to talk about what was their first job. When you see somebody that was the MD of a conglomerate telling you that his first job, he was a vendor boy selling newspapers and making small benefits. Or in my participation, that time I was a CEO, and I told them my first job was as a personal assistant to my mother, who was a home keeper and was a fashion designer, dressmaker, and I was her personal assistant, keeping records of her customers, following her to collect clothes to make and also give customers when they come, and helping her to sew the buttons and all that. Once in a while, what is my pay at that time? She only allows me to sew my own clothes and take my materials as I want without me going to buy it. And then when she doesn't like some things that she wants to sew, she will signal to me, I will collect it and I'll be the one to collect the money. I also served as my father's storekeeper and bookkeeper for his chemist. My father was a pharmacist. He studied nursing in the UK. When he retired, he set up a pharmacy with his friend as a partnership. Later on, they separated. That was Savannah Pharmacy. Then later, he formed the Quarry Drug Company. During my holidays, I was doing 2 jobs. 3 times a week, I'll follow my father to the chemist in Maiduguri. And then the other days of the week, I'm my mother's assistant in her dressmaking business. She was very popular. She was making clothes. I was following her to government houses. We'll come back with boxes of clothes and we'll sew it and we'll later take it to government house. So young people need to understand the role of mentorship. Most people who are offering to be mentors, they're not going to give you money. They might not give you a job, but you learn skills that you find very useful. And when they have a challenge, if you have proved yourself worthy, they'll remember you. I just told us how my former boss called me. That project turned out to be the biggest project we got in my former place of employment. Did I go marketing for it? No. It came to me direct because somebody felt I could keep that.
Success Club.
My advice to adults and young people:
What makes a difference between somebody who is working and succeeds and somebody who is working and does not succeed? Even if they read the same course, they came out with the same grade, they came out from the same house, even if they were twins born of the same mother. A behavior, that behavior of hard work and diligence. There's a moment, when a farmer is farming, there's a time the farmer prepares the sand and removes all the weeds and all that. I actually have a metaphor on parenting using gardening coming up. I'll write a book about it. So at that time of your young age and you're trying to succeed at work, or that time that you are at a milestone of a next grade in your work, you're expecting a promotion, you need to be somebody who keeps commitment. If you have a timeline and a deadline and it is X time, try to meet that deadline or even deliver ahead of that deadline. So be the team member, team player, support people, and as you support people and lift people, guess what will be happening to you? You'll be rising and they will start calling you their leader. And when they need leaders, your name is first. When the other one that you need to do is seek whatever your faith, seek to know God. Be prayerful, because at the end of it, there's the God factor. Without that God factor, you will just be sweating. But the God factor, something will drop in your spirit, you think about it. Sometimes you pray, you read your holy scriptures, you go about it, and you will see the God factor also work for you. So that's my advice in all this. I hope that in this short conversation, we have discussed success as a journey. We've also discussed my setbacks, which are, by the grace of God, flipped. And now they're actually success points. And then we've also discussed what I have done about issues of things like discrimination, health challenges, and losses in life. It's a fact of life. Life happens. But what do we do with those situations? And then I've also discussed some principles I've found very helpful. Whatever your background is, whether your parents are still alive or they're not alive, there are parental personalities in your life. Learn. Thank God for the internet. I tell my children that if the internet was available when I was growing up, maybe I'll be where I am, or I'll be miles ahead. But thank God for the internet. Use it for good. Seek knowledge, not bad things. And keep good friends. Be positive and be your authentic self. Enough of this pretending. Some people see their mentor and they start dressing like their mentor, or their mentor's hair is like this, they start mimicking. Don't be a robot, don't be a copycat. Be your authentic self. Learn from the journey of your mentors and apply it to yourself. And you'll be your successful, unique you that has a role in the universe, a role that only you can play. Find it, thrive in it, and be at it at each stage of your life. I wish all those who will see this interview great success. I look forward to hearing about your own success. And please stay tuned to me. Me, I'm not finished. I'm still growing. Thank you very much.